Good afternoon. This is Eddie Fox, and thank you for joining me on my discussion around culture. Nearly everyone is influenced and, in their own way, influenced by culture throughout their lives. Merriam-Webster's dictionary describes culture in multiple ways, including these two: the customary beliefs, social forms, and material traits of a racial, religious, or social group. The set of shared attitudes, values, goals, and practices that characterizes an institution or organization. So really, based off of those two definitions, unless you're born in the wild, survived, and then never were to see anyone again, you're surrounded by culture in its many forms. The culture of your country, the culture of your state, the city, pop culture, religious culture, family, work culture, and more. The beliefs, attitudes, and practices are often ingrained in us so deeply that we are unaware of our own behaviors as we act them out and reinforce the social and cultural norms that define us. To explore culture is to explore ourselves at some of the deepest levels. During a recent class at Clear University, I was able to personally explore aspects of my own culture and of those of others. Topics that were tackled included pop culture, friendship, love, and death. As I dove into my own personal understanding, I was fortunate to learn about the practices and views of another amazing person in the class, Ms. Alicia Fanion. It was an interesting experience seeing where our thoughts and behaviors ran parallel, and even more interesting when they were notably different. Alicia has strong beliefs that both contribute to and reinforce the cultural groups that she is a part of. While interacting with Alicia, I was able to uncover that while she still has deep-rooted systems and a practice of beliefs, she also has a wonderfully open mind that is full of curiosity about the cultures of others. This was initially uncovered as she communicated a story about going to the beach in a way that the majority of us would go as immersed in American culture would. She spends time with family and with her son in traditional beach swimwear. However, there are times that she has noticed groups that are there, likely devout Muslims, enjoying the same area in a different way. She approaches what she sees with interest versus being judgmental. The groups, including the women, are not in bathing suits, fully clothed in traditional face coverings as well. The groups also may join in communal smoking around hookahs that are colorfully decorated and really just enjoying themselves in a different way that the rest of the groups are at the beach area. But instead of being offended, she strives to learn and understand the meaning behind the cultural differences. Like her, I also wonder about the impact of the children seeing the two different cultural norms together. It can be quite amazing when you think about the different or how different people can live while being in the same city or even on the same street. The process of learning about Alicia and her own cultural background was very interesting too. I noticed similarities that encompass some of the pieces of modern American culture. Pop culture, including television, movies, sports, and music, can have a profound effect on children. I personally extracted several interests and even parts of my own moral compass, spending a lot of time growing up in front of a television and listening to the radio. Alicia feels like she learned how to be more empathetic, and some of the life lessons she learned through movies while growing up were from movies like Spirit and The Lion King. She was also influenced by her immediate family around what is considered America's national pastime, baseball. Although she does not have a lot of personal interest, she still finds it important to pass it on to her son by involving him in t-ball like so many other American families do. Like baseball, she also has a similar take on religion. Although she was brought up in a family with strong ties practicing religion, she describes her beliefs as more of a scientific approach. With that in mind, she still celebrates some of the traditional holidays with her son and is growing fond of allowing him to explore his own beliefs around religion as he grows up. I share a similar path as do a lot of Americans. Although I was immersed in Catholic religion as I grew up, I also do not participate in religious practices. Instead, I like to keep an open mind to both science and spiritual principles. I also still celebrate some of the traditional holidays for the sake of spending quality time with extended family and having some of the fun that goes along with it for my children. As my kids have gotten older, it is starting to open up questions, and I give them the encouragement to eventually explore what's going to be right for them. A recent study points to 28% of Americans checking the box as unaffiliated with formal religions, which is a double-digit increase since 2007. Could it be the diversity and religious freedom America has built on is creating more questions as different cultures and religions blend together? Of course, after talking about religion, it is natural to segue to discuss cultural beliefs and traditions around death. The big question for all of us is, what will happen when we die? Since I don't have any answers for that today, I will talk about what happens for the living impacted by death. In class, we were able to learn about a number of different ways across the world how different cultures handle death. Alicia's cultural norm for her family is very similar to what I've experienced and participated here in America. I believe these practices are very common across the country, across many branches of religion. Death typically involves some ritualistic practices, but more importantly, it leads to a gathering of the family and friends that come together to remember the departed. Often included are expressions of condolences along with flowers, food, storytelling. This allows the loved ones to express the love, grief, and personal reflections of a life lived. I'm aligned with Alicia on enjoying the sharing of the memories of the loved ones with others in the family as well as friends as my favorite part of the cultural practice. When it comes to love, friendship, and family, she is passionate about all three. She has done some research into her heritage, which includes German, French, Irish, Scottish, and French Canadian roots. Although there is interest in those cultural backgrounds, especially a family line leading back to the original Macpherson Scottish clan, she is more concerned with building a life that is based on love, friendship, and her own interests versus strictly adhering to the traditions of those cultures. Her friendships are based on mutual interest and respect. She appreciates spending time with friends, doing things like playing games, going out to catch up over food and drinks, or getting out to do family-friendly activities like going to the park or the beach. Including attributes of Alicia's friends, important attributes of Alicia's friends include being open and honest. It is important to her that conversations can be about anything unless it is something involved around gossiping about others that are not present. I appreciated learning that since, to me, it seems American culture thrives off real and created drama. Some people seem to genuinely enjoy it, while Alicia does not want to talk about others when they're not present and able to defend themselves, something that I appreciate and strive to do myself. Alicia separates her beliefs on love into family, friendship, and romantic categories. Loving family relationships are based on bonds and ongoing nurturing that are supported and maintained through family gatherings, during holidays and special occasions. Loving a friend includes mutual interests, trust, and a bond that allows her to disclose some of the most personal parts of life while being the same non-judgmental ear for her friends. I know for me, this can be an important part of support and having connections outside of the family that provides a sounding board for topics that may be too uncomfortable or sensitive to share with family. Romantic love for Alicia includes a strong spark that couples with the desire to be there for someone unconditionally. Being vulnerable with each other, yet strong enough to face the roller coaster of life with the ups and downs, her experience has been that romantic love crosses cultural boundaries and distances and differences between those with a spark that can rise above the traditions and differences in upbringing. More importantly to her, any superficial differences are mutual understanding and respect. All in all, it was a pleasure to learn about culture through the lens of Alicia and the other awesome people in my class this semester. The opinions, traditions, and stories had major differences, yet everyone had an open mind and interacted with respect as we explored some of life's deepest questions. For me, studying culture is a broad topic that opened the door to seeing just how many differences are out there. Just as important is looking inward at my own behaviors, traditions, and beliefs. It's a great way to examine culture and its impact on who I am today because of its influence. Thank you for joining me in the discussion. Have a great day.